Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. 1 dead and 7 others injured in motor vehicle crash in St. Ann. St. Catherine records imported case of malaria. And later in sports, Jamaica Scorpions into CWI Super 50 Cup finals. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. 1 man is dead and several others injured following a motor vehicle crash along the Landover Main Road in St. Ann this morning. Our St. Ann correspondent Leonie Hines visited the scene and now reports.
Thank you, O'Shane. Well, first of all, I must say that traffic was backed up for miles this morning. As far as the eyes can see, traffic had backed up this morning as the police and fire personnel, hospital staff from the St. Ann's Regional Hospital, as they try to process these injured ones and whisk them away to the hospital. This followed another deadly crash on the Landover Main Road this morning, O'Shane. Mr. Walwayne Smith, a 40-year-old fisherman of Steertown, died in that accident this morning. It took place minutes after 8 a.m.
Nobody now move. Everybody turn up with their video. Everybody did their video.
From reports that we have received so far from the police is that Mr. Smith and 2 other fishermen were returning from Westmoreland, Savlamar in Westmoreland, on a fishing voyage. They go that area, I understand, at different times. They were returning with a catchment of fish and lobsters and so back to St. Ann when the accident happened. They collided with a bus owned by a security company.
Yesterday when they asked me if I said something wrong by car, so I couldn't go. You see it, so that's the reason why him drive him car now and come back, and quite a Savlamar they don't come back. So I don't know what happened while they coming up back to see it.
This was a guy who had served the community of Steertown.
Yes.
Tell us, man.
Yeah, man, he served Steertown, man, by selling fish and lobster and all these things.
Community will miss him?
Everybody miss him. Everybody will miss him. Everybody in that Steertown will miss him.
I am not too sure that I am trying to reach the hospital amidst this heavy traffic here to find out about the injured persons. But we know that the two persons, other fishermen in the car, were seriously damaged. And as a result, they were rushed to the hospital as priority. So we are going to check further to see if there was any other injuries among the security officers. But for now, O'Shane, the traffic is still lingering on. The police are trying frantically to clear this traffic here as it has inconvenienced so many persons. But for now, that's what we have right now, O'Shane.
Thanks, Lloyd. And in an update now, it's 11 persons that are seriously injured, and 9 from the security company vehicle and 2 from the Toyota Wish. Now, the St. Catherine Health Department is reporting an imported case of malaria in that parish. Acting Public Health Inspector for the parish, Denise Douglas, made the revelation at the Public Health and Sanitation Committee meeting of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation on Thursday.
Our team has since commenced the necessary intervention activities in the community where that case resides in an effort to prevent the spread.
However, Chairman of the committee, Councillor Sidney Rose, was not pleased with the delay in the corporation being notified. According to the Public Health Department, they were notified of the case on November 4.
From the date of notification to today, it's about 13 days, and it's the first we are hearing about a situation of such. When things like this do happen, even us at the municipal corporation, we are a local board of health. We are the local board of health for the parish, which is chaired by His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Norman Scott. We should be informed, and I think this, it should be before today. A simple phone call. And also for the public to be advised to take the necessary precautions.
Malaria is spread by the Anopheles mosquito. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says before year end, his ministry should be able to put regulations in place for funeral homes. Speaking to TVJ News recently, Dr. Tufton said due process has to be followed, which is why it's been taking some time. Shamala Pullen reports.
For years, funeral directors have been vocal about the lack of regulation for the industry. Regulation would allow for the licensing of facilities as well as ensuring accountability and complying to international best practices. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the need for this as some funeral directors complained about handling dead bodies that may have had the virus. But Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says it will finally happen in a matter of weeks.
We are at the point now where there is a recommendation to advance the process to make the regulations, put the regulations in effect. I've been going through what is being proposed, and I do expect that in a short time, meaning hopefully between now and the end of this year, we should have something to place in law that would then regulate this industry.
Funeral directors have been arguing that the process is taking way too long. Dr. Tufton had been promising these measures for the sector for about 6 years. He says while he understands their concerns, due process has to be followed.
I know they're very impatient, and rightfully so, but part of the challenge has been the consultations. It's not just up to us. We have to go through a range of agencies. It's a collaborative effort with local government, but I think we have been able to do that now, and there is a tangible, complete proposal on the table. So I do hope that this will happen in the shortest possible time.
Shamala Pullen, TVJ News.
Scores of people turned up at the Church of St. Margaret in Leonie, St. Andrew to celebrate the life of theatre icon and actress Leonie Forbes on Thursday. Ms. Forbes died at the age of 85 at the University Hospital of the West Indies on October 25. Among the attendees at the funeral were media and theatre personalities, as well as Entertainment Minister Olivia Grange. Media personality Faye Ellington remembers her as a very detailed actress who brought many characters to life on stage.
She brought to roles such as Miss Aggie in Trevor Rowan's Old Story Time, Mother of Judas in Easton Lee's The Rope and the Cross, Mrs. Josephine Benedict in Basil Dawkins' Toy Boy, or Tita in Patrick Brown's December, Brecht and Stephen's Mother Courage, Shakespeare Productions, National Pantomimes, all treated with detail.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The outgoing political ombudsman is of the view that her office was mostly effective in carrying out its mandate. The office usually intervenes in disputes involving members of political parties and investigates breaches of the agreed code of conduct.
So I would write to the person with the complaint and ask for a meeting. I would say they may have breached the code or the law at section so-and-so and invite them in for an opportunity to discuss. And I'm proud of the fact that except maybe for 3 persons, everyone who I wrote to came in and we had an engagement, and I would say 85 to 90% of the time we agreed on an outcome.
Donald Parchment Brown's 7-year tenure as political ombudsman ended on November 15. The government has indicated it will not appoint a new ombudsman under the current law, and there's a proposal to include the role in the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ. The update comes as Jamaica prepares for the local government elections. Administration Officer at the Manchester Division of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Deputy Superintendent Elsa Smith, is challenging young people who are engaged in illegal activities and other unacceptable behavior to channel their energies into more positive activities. To this end, she says the police have been helping to form police youth clubs within the schools.
With so many distractions on social media, right? Some of our young people are victims of domestic abuse and just want an escape, an outlet. We're saying that the police youth club is an alternative, is an opportunity for you to tap into so that you can help to build yourself and evolve into the better version of you.
DSP Smith was addressing the Manchester Police Community Safety and Security Branch CSSB Award ceremony, dinner and council election at the Tropics View Hotel in Mandeville recently. Addressing the function, Member of Parliament for North West Manchester, Michael Phillips, lamented the increase in murders in Manchester and challenged the increasing number of young persons getting involved in illegal activities like scamming to channel their energies into more productive activities.
Speaking of 5 languages, left school without even one subject. But no, but they're brighter than me and you. We're even glorifying dunceness now. And we keep blaming the system and not blaming ourselves in some instances. Because it starts at home.
As countries around the globe commemorate World Day for the Prevention of Child Abuse on Saturday, the Child Protection and Family Service Agency, CPFSA, today held marches and remembrance rallies across 4 regions. According to the agency, the parishes in which the marches were held have reflected the highest reports of child abuse. Special focus was placed on the Southeast region staging, which began at St. William Grant Park to the Secret Gardens Monument in downtown Kingston. Marches and rallies were also held in St. Anne's Bay, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. A total of 70 children have died under tragic and violent circumstances between last October and October this year. CEO of the CPFSA, Rosalie Gage-Gray, laments child abuse is a serious problem in the country.
Up to 1 billion children between the ages of 2 to 17 years have experienced some form of violence which impacts their childhood development. Generally, 8 in 10 Jamaican children are regularly subjected to violent discipline methods at home, which includes psychological as well as physical violence. About 65% of children in school say that they have been bullied, and close to 80% witness violence in their communities at home. Prevalent social norms, cultural practices, and the normalization of violence contribute to some of the violence, including the ones I mentioned before.
And for a peek in the world of business, here's Cody and Barrett.
Jamaica welcomed its second non-stop flight from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic to the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston today. The flights being offered by the Dominican Republic's new flagship airline, Arajet, began on Monday with round-trip fares as low as $252. Speaking at a press briefing, Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett said the connectivity by air between the two countries is more than a game changer.
The decision to enable improved connectivity between Dominican Republic and Jamaica is part of a broader and wider strategy of integrating the Caribbean more and of also creating backward connections between Central America and South America. We have been working at building that market for the last 15 years.
In business overseas, Twitter has told employees that the company's office buildings will be temporarily closed with immediate effect. In a message to workers, they were told that the offices would reopen on Monday, November 21. No reason was given for the closure. The announcement comes amid reports that large numbers of staff were quitting after new owner Elon Musk called on them to sign up for long hours at high intensity or leave. The message went on to say, quote, "Please continue to comply with company policy by refraining from discussing confidential company information on social media with the press or elsewhere," end quote. There are indications that large numbers of workers have resigned because they are not willing to accept Mr. Musk's new terms. That's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
For the top regional and international stories, we join Sandy Williams.
In regional news, the Guyana government has announced an 8% salary increase for public servants. The increase, which will take effect as of December, will be reflected in salaries for public servants, teachers, members of government, and government pensioners. The amount was set aside since Guyana's finance minister presented the 2022 national budget in January. On the international scene, according to a World Cup official, the Qatar World Cup organizers are set to announce a ban on alcoholic sales on Friday. The announcement is expected just 2 days before the World Cup kicks off. The Muslim country, which is considered to be very conservative, tightly regulates alcohol sales and usage. In September, Qatar said it would permit ticketed fans to buy alcoholic beers at World Cup soccer matches starting 3 hours before kickoff and for 1 hour after the final whistle, but not during the match. The 2022 Qatar World Cup will run from November 20 until December 18, 2022. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, Jermaine Brown will have your sports report.